Let's see how the stream quality does now. Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay, I probably need a pen. Alright, now I don't have covers on this one yet, so it's just kind of like all of the things. So I'll go over what we did last time. Make sure we're all in it. Well, I'll wait until it says like that's kind of fixed itself. Actually, that'll be good because then it'll kind of let me know where my camera is too if I keep it inside this box. Alright, we're back. I just gotta miss frames. 25% is acceptable though. That is fucking serviceable compared to what I've been getting before. Going higher is better in general. Less clutter, less interference. See, the router's brand new. The antenna was fine an hour ago. And I feel like the antenna placement just must be terrible in the laptop because like I said, like this is a problem that happens all the goddamn time. So apparently it really is laptop placement, and now I can work with that fact instead of against it. Yay! Alright, so last time on the stream we started with annual reviews. We went through a life review, we went through business review, we went through life goals. And then we got to work goals, and that's where we stopped. So we're going to start from there. Okay, and I should do that. If you want to get your own workbook, you can check out this link. It is free until the end of the month, and then it goes back to being charged for. But yeah, right now it is free. It's not working. Like that. Hopefully that's better. Oh, it's still getting script frames. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hey, it went up to 50% again. Why though? Why would it do that to me? Oh well, at least most of the stream is auditory, not visual, but you know. Alright, so we're gonna start. Some of the stuff I'm not actually going to do, like dream job values and tasks, I don't need to redo. I've done that before. Daily non-negotiables is a good one, and I think I'm actually going to, there's a bunch of stuff I'm going to be adjusting in this file, kind of for the paid version, but like this one I think needs an explanation sheet. The point of this page, what color pen was I using last time? Oh, I was switching pen, that's right. Okay, so we'll start with purple this time. Oh my god, that makes perfect sense for what I know of myself, switching pens. The point of this sheet is to think of the things that you should be doing every day on a daily basis, and they should be something to do with yourself, like your own growth, education, or mindset, like research, reading a book, learning something new, doing a course, or reading, you know, posts from someone else in your field, something like that, or like kind of motivational stuff, things like that. The other thing should be something to grow your community. So this is like posting on social media, being on Twitch, reaching out in Discord, like those kind of things. And then 3 is nurture, which is something more interactive with someone. This is actual engagement, things that, whereas grow your community is more about visibility, nurture is more about like actually direct messaging someone or replying to a comment or commenting on someone's post, things like that. And then 4 is the sales thing, which is make an offer. So like do something that lets people know you have stuff for sale every day, whether that's like a hard push or just like a post on social media or like an actual sale or just something for all of those things. So I'm trying to think if I have enough to. I've been doing reading every morning, so that's kind of my mindset. Grow my community is definitely just social media posts and Twitch right now. And Twitch. Nurture is, I'm going to say Discord, and I'm going to say responding to comments, but I'm not doing that every day. But maybe I should be this year. Make an offer. See, this is what I'm not doing. But this should be things like posting on Instagram stories. Things for sale. And this should also be, this should be my email list, which is the thing I'm not doing right now, but I want to be doing more actively this year. Email list. This would also be like, or email, or like a TikTok / reel. Okay. Is negative, it feels like -22, or it's -22 plus wind chill? No. Okay, feels like, yeah. We had that the other week. It was -20 plus wind chill. Hey, Radha. All right, business goal setting. This is kind of about your life in relation to business. And so like we've got this, actually it is showing up pretty well. We've got kind of like where the printer died, and so it printed in yellow and green instead of pink and green. But now I'm like, oh, I want to make a yellow and green version. See, this is the problem. I do this when I'm getting closer to my thing, and then it's like the camera doesn't catch it anymore. God damn it. I don't want the camera up this high for a reason. I'm good, Radha. We're experimenting with how to make the internet not die, because apparently it's directly related to where my laptop is placed in vertical space. Who knew? Right? Like, considering it's like because the print ink died, it actually looks really good. I'm pleased with it. The other one that looks good is the blue ones. A bunch of them printed in like blue, and they actually looked really cool too. Actually, those ones don't show up as well on camera though, because like the roses are kind of a light blue as well, but it just looks like background. All right, so first question on business goal setting life. How do you want to feel in your work and life? So I'm going to say creative. I'm going to say productive, but that has the wrong connotations. But it is the right meaning. Like, I want to be doing stuff. I want to be making stuff. I want to be producing stuff. Productive, not productivity. Inspired. How do you want to feel about your work and life? I want to feel satisfied. So these are just the same word over and over. Same feeling. Proud. Right? Like a form of like the different effects, like just different series. Warholian. Based on your ideal day, which we did last time, ideal day, how many hours do you want to work in a week? Depending what I want here, because this is definitely like full-time plus for me, because I'm kind of doing full-time day job and then plus business things. And so again, like you can kind of, like ideal day might not be where you currently are right now versus like what's the in-between stage, what's the current ideal day. So I'm going to put both. So ideal day would be full-time. Currently full-time plus part-time. Part-time. Day job and business. How much time off do you want? Vacation time. So vacation time, I would very much like to do that thing where people take like the entire month of December off or something like that, right? Like, so I mean, 2 weeks December would be nice. And then, I don't know, vacation in the summer. Like ideally, I would like a vacation in the winter and a vacation in the summer. So let's put that down. Let's say 2 weeks summer. And 2 weeks winter to get away from the cold. Although ideally I wouldn't be living somewhere cold in the winter, so that would be a bit different, but it would still be good. Exactly, well, it's good to have an end to journey towards. It's the journey that matters in the end. So exactly, like figure out how you can get to that ideal, as close to that ideal date as you can in your current situation. What is it about it that you liked? All right, focus page. Based on your life plan, what should you be doing this year? So we did life plan last time. Did we do life plan yet? No, we haven't. Have we done life plan yet? I don't think we've done it yet. Life plan is coming up, so we're gonna get to that. So maybe we'll come back to this page. Or maybe we'll jump ahead to life plan. Okay, I'm gonna put a highlight on this just so I can remember that I have this going on here. I need to adjust it for the final version, or the next version. So we're gonna do just based on our life goals, I guess, kind of thing. No, that question is really related to the life plan. So maybe I'll just take this page out and do it after we do life plan. That's on the back of this page. Okay, so the back of this page is profit first. This is basically just a really simple version of the profit first kind of equation for making sure you're profitable. So basically, if you have your sales revenue, that's 100%. Product cost, if you have a physical product cost, is 20%. Then after that, the rest of it adds to 100. So 80% is the real revenue. Tax, I mean, depending on where you are, I put 30% in here. That might be different depending on what the tax where you are is, or what kind of tax you're paying, whether it's like personal or business or etc. So operating expenses should be around 30, owner's comp can be around 30, profit around 10, and net income, if you're counting, if you're the sole person, owner's comp plus profit is 40%. So that's kind of just a kind of goal percentages to get to, especially if right now your profit is 0 and your owner's comp is like 10 and you're like, everything's going into operating expenses and product cost. So the idea there is to go through kind of what you're actually selling and work it through. So in the case of like a digital product that's just being sold online, you wouldn't have product cost. So you wouldn't worry about that line. Whereas in the case of a physical product, if you were printing and selling physical products, you'd be trying to do, you'd put that product cost in here, like how much it cost you for the paper and the rings and all of that sort of stuff, and the print ink. Dun-dun. Yeah, so I mean, the one thing to remember is that this is the 20% and then this equals another 100% here. Kind of like 30, 30, 30, 10 is 100. Plus 20 technically would be like, this 100% is the 80%. Plus the 20 equals 100. So I don't know if that makes it any more confusing or less confusing, but that's what it's doing. I should maybe put a line on here, not applicable if you're digital products or a service or whatever, but you could have a cost with a service, but really that should be more of operating expense. Anyways, if this is of interest, I do recommend the book Profit First because I found it very useful for me. I'm going to put this page aside now because I'm going to come back to it after. I'm going to totally forget about it. All right, business goal setting, products. What were your top 3 bestsellers? like one print. I'm gonna say art print. And like, that's fucking it. That's fucking it. Okay, we'll leave that. What were your worst sellers, or what wasn't worth the hustle? I'm gonna say, and yeah, like you said, excellent small business breakdown. And he goes into in the book, he goes into how to like change the scale of these things as your business grows. So like if you're kind of like $100,000 company versus $1 million company versus et cetera, he goes through kind of how to adjust as you grow, which is pretty cool. What wasn't worth the hassle? Once again, the fashion stuff, because that didn't attract any audience. Fashion stuff. Best months and best platforms. Okay, so best platforms were Twitch and TikTok for sure. What were your best profit margins? NA. There's an art print on Redbubble. There wasn't, like, the profit margin is the whole thing because it doesn't really have a breakdown at this point. I'm not selling enough of them to have an average of operation costs. Yeah, exactly. So like owner's comp is one of the things that goes way down when like operating expenses includes your employees, right? That kind of stuff. And especially like once once the sales revenue is like those huge numbers, like you don't need 30% because like that would be an insane amount of the total money coming through your company, versus when you're only making $1,000 a year or $50,000 a year, like, you know what I mean? Like even 40% is still barely an income, so it should be high. Where am I? Did I switch the page? I did. Business goal setting, money. How are you feeling? Actually, what did I just learn today? Someone recommended a podcast recommended a money financial thing, and I haven't looked into it yet. What was it called? Dun, dun, dun. I don't want to forget about it. Okay, it was called the Klontz Money Script Inventory. By Brad Klontz, about kind of what money scripts do you have. Like it's a psychological kind of thing about kind of how you think about money. So I haven't done it yet, but I just saw that today and I thought it was of interest. So someone recommended it, so I'm gonna take a look at it. So how are you feeling about money? Because people have all these weird psychological subconscious feelings about money that they don't even know they have. Exactly right. It wouldn't make any sense if your business could give 30% of like a multi-million-dollar business. There's something weird going on. And he recommends, like, again, like a lot of small businesses have 0% profit. And so like if you're starting with 0% profit, don't jump to 10%. Go to 1% the first year and then see how that goes, and then like raise it from there. Don't just suddenly go from 0% profit and because you're in debt to 10% profit. Pay off your debts first. Then, but the point of the thing is like put 1% profit and 9% pay off your debts, and then like adjust over time. How are you feeling about money? I'm stressed about money right now because I way overspent the last couple months. How do you want to feel about money? More in control. I need a space in there though. Control, more consistency. Because it's like, oh, I was doing great for like the first 3 quarters of that year, and then it went terrible. So what are your money stories is kind of like what I was talking about with that recommendation. Kind of what are the things you tell yourself about money? Like, what are the things you learned about money from your parents, from the other people in your life? Like, was money always scarce, or was money easy come, easy go? Or was money something that you guarded very intensely? Like, was it very serious, or was it lighthearted in your family? Like, what are the kind of ideas you have around money, and how, once you can actually like think about them consciously, you can start evaluating like, hey, is that a valid idea? Do I want to think about money that way? Or do I want to think about it in a more kind of like hashtag abundant kind of view, like something where it's like, no, I can make money if I just am doing the right things, instead of being like, I'm at the mercy of money and it's a fight. Yeah, and like stuff like watching the market and economy is this kind of more advanced level stuff, right? This is kind of for getting to profit, basically, for that company that's either just getting started or is or has been started for a while but is losing money or just not gaining. Well, online companies are terrible for that, right? Like YouTube wasn't profitable for 11 years, right? But they can survive because they get all this like kind of influx of investments and stuff, because it's like, well, it has so much audience, it's got to make money at some point. And then some of them just never do. So those are terrible business models. So I'm trying to think what was the most succinct way of putting some of this for me. Okay, and what does money mean to you? What is money to you? What does money mean to you? It means having nice things, travel, options. I mean, the cliche thing here is freedom. I mean, opportunity. It's kind of the same. "25% drop frames 9 minutes ago, 87% drop frames 7 minutes ago, and 26% drop frames 5 minutes ago." This is all over the place, but it's nowhere near like the 95% we were getting before. Right? And some of that's kind of luck, and some of that is good business in order to maintain popularity as a company, as an internet company. Yeah, and then Facebook realized they were gonna go under unless they made some fucking money somehow. So a negative money story I have is you can always make it back. And that's why I end up spending too much. Because I'm like, I can make money. I'm good at making money. It's like, okay, but how about I just hold on to more of it in the first place? Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, that can be a positive too, though, right? I mean, it can be used to make you happy, but that's also kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Like, you shouldn't just be buying things to make yourself happy. That's kind of a problem. And others happy. And again, that kind of can get real negative real quick, or real toxic real quick. Okay. All right, next page. Business goal setting, more money. How much money do you need to feel secure in your current lifestyle? With the business, if I wasn't doing the business, it would be fine. Like, my day job would be fine. But because the business takes money at this point and doesn't really put it back, more. And then they began to roll out advertisements. Yeah, exactly. businesses to be making instead of taking money. And I get that you have to spend money to make money, and that's fine. I don't mind doing that. It just hits a point where it's like, okay, we would like to see some profit, or at least like owner's comp would be fine too. Taking it. But that's why we're trying to put out more and more products. Can't sell what's not available. Day job income is fine. I'm going to be working a bit more next month just because it's a short month and I would like to have a little bit more coming through, especially because I overspent last year. How much money do you want to make? You can answer this both for like currently and as like long term kind of thing. Like, what is the lifestyle that you want for the rest of your life, like for the next 5 years, 10 years? And that's kind of, we're going to get into that in life plan stuff too, kind of over time. What does that look like in the near future versus the long term? I'm going to say in the near future, anywhere what would minimum be? Let's say between like 50 to 100 would be about good right now. And then long term, like a lot, like a fucking lot. Put that down, a lot. Based on your net income percentage, how much revenue do you need to make that income? So this goes back to kind of like working on the actual financial details, which we didn't fill out. So things like based on like how much what you're selling costs and is profit, how much do you need to get that net income to that number you want? Right? So that depends on if you actually have those numbers available, and if you don't, but you are selling things, get those numbers available instead of just fly by night. I could use $150 million cash infusion, I know, right? That sounds about right. But you can work this out theoretically too. So if you are doing, say, like, if your product is like $50 versus your product is $100 versus, or your average order value, etc., whatever that is, you can kind of work out how many sales do you need a month to reach that value. Like what is that value broken into 12 months? What is that value then broken into the days? What is that value broken down? Like, you know what I mean? What does that look like? How many sales would you actually have to make in a day in order to be making that money from your business? So you can kind of work out what the goal would be. Capped annual salary, 12.8 million, 10 million from 2018, 2% to account for inflation, with asset holdings not exceeding 10 billion. I like it. Sounds very nice. Oh yeah, send that over. That sounds useful. So this would be like, so income, and make sure you're accounting for taxes. Income divided by 12, let's say, you know, and then how many sales, average order value, revenue versus expenses, etc. Okay, based on your lifestyle, financial, and personal goals, what is your big goal for next year in content production, revenue or sales, or income? So, business-wise, big goal is to actually make some consistent sales. I mean, that was my goal last year, but it didn't happen, so let's try again this year. Content production, I was actually consistent. So last year, I'm gonna write that down. Last year, consistent content production. This year, consistent sales. Next page. Okay, so again, monthly target. So if you have your annual goal of how much you'd like to sell in your business or make in your business, and this would probably be like your business revenue, not your personal income, then break it down. Like, how much of that are you expecting to make in each quarter? How much of that are you expecting to make in each month? Because if you're a sales business, you're selling products, like December is probably going to be a big month for you. But maybe you have a specific thing. Maybe it's a summer product, and maybe May, June, and July are going to be big months for you, etc. Like, plan out kind of, if you know how much you need on an average month, and you know some months are going to be bigger than others, or for instance, if you're starting from, like, you're intending to grow over the course of the year, and you know that the beginning months are going to be lower, because hopefully by the end you'll have grown and increased how much money you're making every month. Take that into consideration. Like, if you want this much over the whole year, and it starts at, 5%, but then the last month is 20% of that, how do those numbers break down? And so we've got kind of 3 goals here for content, revenue, and income. So your content is going to be like your advertising. What are you posting to social media? What are you posting in, if you're doing ads or paid ads, etc.? How much are you selling? What's the revenue versus how much of that is your own income? So keeping those things separate. So content goals is what I do have, I think fairly consistently. I'm trying to think if I want to write it down on the sheet or not. Yeah, I'm going to say 30 posts at least. I think that's been actually accurate for January. And I also had we've been doing Redbubble, like tons of posts on Redbubble, so that's really good. I wanted 52 Redbubble last year, and I ended up with more than that, so be good. If you didn't start getting sick in December, hey, sounds good to me. Send it on over next time you're feeling healthy. Or whenever. Well, we're trying. We're gonna try to get through it. Alright, so we want, okay, I'm going to say Redbubble on here. I'm going to say 52 Redbubble again, but that's not really a February goal. It's like a year goal. And it should be, I'm actually hoping it's going to be way more than that based on the current, like we've been posting like 30 Redbubble a month. So if I can if I have that much, but the thing is I might run out of art to post at that rate. So I'm not going to, 52 would be fine. If I can get 52 up in the year, that would be fine for me. One thing I would like to do content-wise is I would like to do a Boxing Day sale. I didn't get one up last year. I would like to do a Black Friday sale. I did get one up this year. Black Friday sale. I would like to do like seasonal things. So yeah, like, I mean, Halloween, like seasonal content basically. Yeah, I'll leave the rest of those are kind of all the rest of it. Alright, so mission statement. This is like the fun page. If you have a mission statement, you can write it down here. You can spend some time kind of thinking out what you, like what encompasses kind of, what's your goal? This could be like a single word for the year. This could be, that's what might be what I do. So I don't know if I feel like writing a whole sentence. This could be a whole sentence. This could be a whole paragraph. This could be whatever it is you feel like is your mission statement for the year. This could also be more of a company mission statement, like if you have kind of values for your company or values for your business or etc., how you treat your customers, your employees, that kind of thing. All that sort of stuff can go through it. So, see, what word do I want for the year? I think I want a single word. I'm trying to think what my words were for last year. I did have a bunch. The year before I actually did a word every month, which worked really nicely. That was when I was doing the chalkboard method by, who does that? Being Boss. I think that's Being Boss podcast does the chalkboard method. Okay, so I think my word last year was consistency. I think it was consistency or production or something like that, and I think I succeeded at that. Put out a lot of stuff on social media and live stream and even products. So this year I think we want products. I'm gonna say products because that's kind of encapsulates products in my email list. Email list is the other thing I really need to get started. A semi-monthly subscription box. See, I don't know if I would. I'm not a subscription box buyer, so I feel like getting into that market would be dangerous for me because I don't understand it on a personal level. But again, sometimes that could be the best way to be in a market, because if you're not emotionally invested in it, you can just make good, sound decisions about things. I don't know. Some of those businesses have had real struggles too, though, right? Like one of them, I don't know if it was Loot Crate. One of them had like a problem where it just like stopped sending people stuff for a while, and then it like kept charging them. And like people couldn't like figure out what was happening. But some of the stuff I do want to do, like kind of like lifestyle type things. Like I'd like to have like a pen to match the journal. Like I'd like to have, you know, like kind of like notebooks and stickers and stuff, which is stuff I can do right now. Like I can produce notebooks on Redbubble and Amazon and things, but those kind of stuff, little lifestyle type items. So annual goal, again, this could be financial or content or products or whatever it is your annual goal that you're going to break down into 4 quarters is. I think for me this is, again, probably products. So let's say Q1 I want to get planners, because I still haven't gotten one up on KDP, and I would like that. I'm not sure what the other ones are yet, and again, don't feel like you have to fill out all of these out if you're going to be doing what we're going to be doing in this planner, which is the 12-week year system, where you kind of change your goals every 12 weeks, like every quarter-ish kind of thing. So I'm going to leave that one mostly blank right now. Okay, now this page I started going through and kind of editing because I realized it was still confusing, so I've edited it a bunch. And then I'm going to actually change the files online. But for right now, it is understandable. So we've got basically goal plans that work on an annual, quarterly, monthly, and weekly basis. So at the beginning of the year, which is right now, or if you just have a big life change and you're doing it at any time, that's fine. Fill out the full life plan sheets. That's what we're going to do next, the full life plan sheets. And start your quarterly goals. Ignore everything else because I'm changing that. Determine your business annual goal, your current business quarterly goal, and your life annual goal for the year. So that's what we're going to do on this page. Every quarter, add to, fill out the goal sheets and weekly scorecards for your quarterly goals, and review your regular weekly schedule. Every week, review your weekly scorecards. That's from the 12-week year. We're going to go over those. And fill out any new goal sheets. So business annual goal is fucking sell products. Fucking, what do I want to put in here? How do I make this, that'll be annual consistent, I think. I think consistent products for sale. All right, so the first business quarterly goal was the estate planners. Yeah, so we're gonna do, what ones do I want up first? I want 2022 on KDP. That's the Amazon self-publishing. Sell products. Yeah, it's my new iPhone. the non-iPhone iPhone, yeah. Right. What else is next in the pipeline? Probably Goal Planner on KDP. What would the other one be? I'm gonna say like it's not the academic one because that one's actually fine for now. That will be a summer goal, is reformatting the academic planner. It might be reformatting one to be more unisex kind of one. I'm gonna say visual reformat / question mark. It might be something else, maybe like a journal or something like that instead. All right, life annual goal. This is non-business. So life annual goal is fucking save money. That's what it was last year and I fucking failed at it. So, well, no, I succeeded for the first 3 quarters of the year and then I failed really hard for the last 3 quarters of the year. So, save money. Yay. The Devil's Vortex is a line from, oh, what book was this? It's something, I don't remember what book it is, but the page that this comes from is called the Advanced Daily To-Do List, I think it is. And the idea is to have annual goals and a quarterly goal, and those are your only focuses. Anything that doesn't fit in one of those goals is literally not a priority because you've told yourself it's not a priority, and it comes after anything that goes towards these goals. So it's just a way of reminding yourself kind of what's a priority and what's not, because if you're like me and like a lot of people, you get, you know, it's that urgent versus important matrix, where it's like if you're focused only on what's urgent, you never get to the important, not urgent stuff. So that's the same kind of way of looking at it. So mine printed in the wrong order. It's supposed to start from life plan 50 years, go back through 10 years, and then hit 5 years and 1 year. But I've got 10, 50, 1, and 5. So I'm going to start with 50 years. Life plan is really cool. This is from, is it Donald Miller? It's the guy who does the Story brand stuff, and he's really good. He's got some really good material out there. I love his books. His books are really good. He's got some on marketing. He's got some on like life stuff and some on business stuff. So I definitely recommend Donald Miller Story brand things, which is cool. Yeah, the blue, exactly. So random. But we're gonna start with 50 years. So 50 years, I put a space over here so you can write down kind of what year that would be from today. So right now it's 2022, so 50 years, 72. And you can just kind of see exactly what that really looks like. So 2022, so 2072. 50 years from now, like, how old will you be? What will your life look like? So the point of the theme part is you fill out your eulogy as if you died. What do you want to be the theme of your life, as if people were talking about you? How do they think of you? What do they remember about you after you're gone? After 50 years for this sheet, and then we're going to do it again for 10 years or 1 year. What if you died 1 year from now? What do you think people, what would you want people to say about you? So we're going to start with the 50-year one, and we're going to work backward. So, and then we're going to go through each of the different categories too, to kind of be more, where do you want these things to be? That's what I'm hoping from. Hoping we'll be in a computer by then. Let's live forever. Although that's what they said 50 years ago, and we didn't get very far. Well, we got far in other things, but life extension is pretty resistant, unfortunately. This is not well written, but I'm just kind of fumbling around here. Did the dog trap herself somewhere? Yeah, average global life expectancy, but we haven't extended the actual maximum life expectancy. I'm talking about like maximum potential. That's what's been resistant. Thankfully, we are helping everyone in the world get up to the same place, the same starting point. So. All right, career. Ooh, 87 and 88%. Can we calm down there, stream, please? Yeah, but it's not that easy on humans. Like, there's a lot of companies who are desperately trying to do this stuff and who don't care. Like, think about places that don't really care about the moral restrictions. China. a lot of stuff that works on bacteria just doesn't work on mammals or multicellular organisms, period. But we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. Yeah. So some of these categories can kind of be depending on like what's important to you. For like philosophy, this might include like religion, if that's a big part of your life. Community might involve like a specific location where you live. It might involve a specific like group of people. It might involve a specific like a work community that you're a part of. It might involve like your extended family. Community could be like that kind of stuff. And again, like all of these can kind of be tailored to how this affects your own life. Like if you don't if you're not planning on having children, like kind of what other relationships are important to you, etc., etc. Like if your career is planning to be like a small part of your life, like kind of, is it because your time is being spent on a non-career activity? Like are you a musician but you don't do that as a job because you wouldn't like it, or same if you're an artist, something like that, right? So feel free to kind of tailor things around to what's important for your life. And it's not a bad idea to write out like a full version of the 50-year eulogy, like write a whole page of like the same way that covers everything. Like, who are you leaving behind? How did they feel about you? What was the pinnacle of your achievements in work and in life? Where did you live? Where did you work? How did you make impacts on the world? Like what are the things that you would like to be able to say after all is said and done? And it doesn't hurt to write out a full page one so that you can just kind of cover everything. What you have to do now to be on track is kind of like, what one thing could you prioritize this year in order to get there eventually? So for me, that's definitely continuing business stuff. Let's kind of phrase that. Yeah, the eulogy thing is something that the story brand guy, Donald Miller, is super strong about. We'll go through it later in this document, but it goes through kind of like how it's something you should be thinking about kind of every day. Like, and that, is kind of advice that you can take depending on how you think you're going to deal with that, because some people really do respond well to that. Sorry, that kind of, something's in my eye. That kind of idea-based motivation, whereas some people that's like pressure and it's the opposite of what they need. So some people need to decide whether that's what they actually want to think about every morning or not, or whether it's not motivating for them. Monetize. Business development. And savings. Can't buy a factory if I don't have savings. Okay, so we did the 50-year. We're going to do the 10-year next. So we're jumping all the way back to 10 years now. So in 10 years, it will be 2032. So do the same thing. If you died 10 years from now, what would people say about you? Where would you hope your life is at? Health. I would be in very good health in 10 years. Let's see, this is annoying because all my little boxes are gone. Let's see. Eating well. Exercising regularly. Career. I want stable company at this point. Stable and having stable and expanding, I guess, is an oxymoron, but at least stable, if not actively expanding. Say and or expanding. Company slash companies. Relationships. Okay. Yeah, starting children, hopefully. 10 years. Yeah, children. Plural. Children. In I mean, stable relationship. Philosophy, same thing. I think the most important point about philosophy in 10 years for me, because this would theoretically be coming with the growth of a company, would be about employee rights and profit sharing and ecological considerations. Anything else? I think those are the most important. Community. Hopefully this would be settling into wherever I end up. Settling into new community. Financial, again, stable if not growing business income. Yeah, and I mean, this would imply fully being supported by the business, but I guess that's going to be more of a 5-year goal. Stable and growing business. What do I have to do now to be on track for that? Keep up the exercise. Yeah, learn and grow business-wise. Learn and grow business knowledge. Let's say business and health knowledge. Oh, I'm hitting the rings. Usually when I use these things, I flip it over into one page so I don't hit the rings. All right, next up is going to be 5 years, and then the last one is 1 year. I've seen some of the stuff about blood. I told my mother, I'm like, hey, if you want some blood of mine at any point, you can have some. Is that a weird thing to say? Yeah, my end goal is to be a vampire, so let's just put that down on the 50-year plan. No eulogy because she will now live forever as a vampire. Hey, that's a perfect goal. Love it. Okay, so 5 years from now, so 2027? Having a company that will continue after I'm gone is one of the goals I have, so I'm going to write that in on the 50-year plan. And I'm going to put it on my 10-year one. Where's my 10-year plan? There it is. On my 10-year plan as well. Hopefully self-sufficient. Without me. Because 5 years, probably not. Maybe. Hey, Snehil Kumar, how's it going? We are doing goal planning today. Nobody lives forever, so create something that will. Exactly. And hopefully create something that will help people when you can't be there to help them. Something that will, in my case, I want to inspire people. I want to give them beautiful things that they will love and will appreciate, and hopefully a company that can continue doing that and also can support artists and can continue employing and creating a system where this kind of creative work is valued and rewarded. So for others who also do it, and also all the other types of work that are involved too, all the sales, the marketing, the finance, all the other jobs. Oh, am I holding it like this? That's how I normally hold it, but I hold it like this half the time too. If you're interested in following along with your own workbook, you can download a copy at that link. But it's free only till the end of the month. We're business expanding. Health, stable. Just same as now, I would assume. I mean, stable and like, I'm gonna put healthy, I don't know, pregnancy sounds like, it feels, what's the word I'm trying to say here, like, not apprehensive, not ambitious, I don't know, it's like a negative connotation word there, assumptive, something like that. Let's say, I'll put it down anyways, less children. children. Okay, relationships. Yeah. Working on children. Philosophy. I'm gonna say making connections. It's really more. I mean, philosophy can be kind of like psychologically and stuff too. Creating socially responsible work. Slash products. Slash jobs. You hold it between your index finger and middle finger supported by thumb like this? Like underneath? And it's like supported by these fingers and then held in place by the thumb. Community, let's say immigrating. Financial, hopefully not going under with the new business. Let's say keeping the business in check. Slash lifestyle. Check. What do I have to do now to be on track with that? I mean, it's all the same kind of stuff, right? The point is that these categories should all be pretty similar, but hopefully they kind of get you all to the same place. To be on track with this would be, what did I say before? I said prioritize. So let's say I'm going to say focus on fail fast mentality and kind of urgency mentality. Because like so many people, I get into that comfort zone where you kind of don't make things change as fast as you could because you're like, well, pretty comfortable here. Mentality. There we go. Okay, last one is 1 year, and these should be in the correct order if you download it, but in my order, they're all messed up because the printer was being weird, as you can tell by the weird printing colors. So 1 year from now be 2023. All right. At this point, honestly, it's probably, again, like, leaves behind a legacy, or not legacy is probably the wrong word, leaves behind a wealth of creative works, art, and etc., etc. No, so 1 year from now, so it's 2022 right now, so 2023, January, right? Yeah, so that's like the initial. Anyone who knows me in person would be fucking laughing at that statement right now. So you can rest easy that that's not the final goal. Just so it doesn't keep you up at night. Yeah, so on the planner, there's a whole bunch of stuff we covered last time, kind of going through like the review from the previous year. So we did all the life review from 2021. We did business review from 202 apparently. I just didn't write the 1 in. And we did some of the life goals for this year. So we did all those last stream, not last stream, but couple of days ago. So if you are interested in kind of hearing more about those, you can watch that stream as well. 202. Okay, I'm a vampire. Let's review the year 202. None of us should be owning an island, right? Yeah. Yep. When you were looking for partners to run various roles, 70% were recent business school grads, most of them expected a 400K salary. That'd be nice right out of school, right? Fuckers. It's like, well, yeah, that's easy to get when you get hired in your friend's dad's company. Fuck. If I did in the next year, my legacy would basically just be the creative things I've done. Also some social things, run some conventions and stuff like that. So that would be part of the legacy. Legacy as a term meaning. When you die at this age, you generally don't really leave much of a legacy, but you never know. Let's say art and style. And again, you can be like kind of poetic with these, wow, with these things too, right? Like if you want to say like all the kind of way you would ideally like someone to write about you, unless you're me, no one else is ever going to see it, and you broadcast it on the internet. So you can write whatever's in your heart and whatever you kind of feel, even if it sounds silly or it's kind of like, oh, am I allowed to say that? Or it sounds overly ambitious, or it sounds kind of like, I don't know if I can really say that. It sounds kind of like, oh, can I really make that much money? Can I really expect grandchildren? Can I really expect to live in this kind of house or this kind of have this kind of job or whatever? It's like you can put it all down on paper because it's private. So feel free to go wild with your goals. Right? Like, oh, you have no real world experience? Got it. I'm gonna say business, startup, making money. Health, continuing to roller skate, swim, jog, eat healthy, to be active, and cooking healthy meals. Wow, that's not what that word's supposed to look like. I know what it means. Relationships, yeah, stable relationship. Philosophy, 1 year from now, same thing as now. Let's say creativity and ambition. Community. Forge. How do I want to say this? I want to say connections in Toronto. or relationships in Toronto. Financial, saved some fucking money. I suppose I need an actual goal for that. I think I have one somewhere. Will that come up at any point in this thing? It'll come up as one of my goal sheet goals. So I'll deal with like the actual like specific financial numbers, which you should definitely do if one of your goals is to save money or make money, etc. Make sure you have real numbers and not just some, which is a terrible idea. There's a lot of rich people, so if you have a business degree, you can make 120 regardless. 500 plus for a fledgling company, a little bit less so. No one is a failure until they give up. Right? Exactly. I like that. Maybe I'll use it as one of my quotes on my stream later. Write it down on my quotes list. Bam. Okay, we're getting through this. This is a long one for sure today. What do I have to do right now to be on track? Remain focused again. Recruit people from India, give them $2,000 per month. Guarantee people will come. Even experienced people. What do you have to do now to be on track? I mean, that's what a lot of companies do, right? Work the plan every week. Every week, which I've been doing so well so far. Definitely this year and last year pretty much too. Work the plan every week, continue to reevaluate. Reevaluate goals and tactics. Except for not gods is not what I'm trying to say, they're goals. Oh my god, I'm getting tired, so my writing's not very clear. I said last time that I should make an active effort to write neat so that I can fucking read this in like a few years. I was doing much neater last time. I'm just like looking back. Yeah, I should try harder to be neat on these ones. All right, so now we did the 4 pages, 50 years, 10 years, 5 years, and 1 year. Now we're gonna go through and summarize. So summarize all of the business goals and keep it on camera, Natasha, and summarize all of the life goals. So what are the kind of like 1 year business goals, 5 year, etc. Kind of go through and put them all on one sheet of paper to kind of analyze in each category. So 1 year business goal was work the plan, like focus on the plan. Stay on plan. Plan, fail fast. I think fail fast was actually 5 years, so. Fail fast. 10 years was... 10 year, the business plan is really like focus on like financials and structure. And structure of a growing company. 50 years is oversee is not the right word. I'll leave the word blank. Something. I'm gonna say expanding. socially and ecologically responsible. What word do I want here? Oversee is not the right word, but it's the right definition. Let's say guide. Guide is a better word. What do I have to do right now to be on track? It's going to stay on plan. Focus on how I meet goals rather than specific goals. Prioritize action. It's that whole action focused technique. Well, yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the, I know Ty's not here right now. It's that kind of, like, yes, and if the market supports this from someone who can do the job for less, then is that what the job is worth? Versus kind of the theory of more like, but if the job can pay more and should be redistributing those profits to more people, but then again, that's probably not the 400K salary executives that actually need that redistribution of profits. It's probably the people at the bottom of the chain actually working at ground level who should be receiving those redistributed profits, if you can give those executive roles to someone who will work for less. And I mean, I kind of said before, a lot of those companies should have more like term limit style things, right? So if you have someone who's in this job where they're making more money than they will ever be able to spend, for forever, when you have someone who just 1 year at that salary who could do the job, like there's nothing about these people that is intrinsically different than the average person off the street. Like they got into those schools and they had the tutors and they, you know, they got into those jobs because of their heritage, like their family background, not because they got there through their own hard work. Of course, some people do come from the bottom and get up to those roles through solely their own hard work. So I'm not talking about those people, but statistically, most of them got there because someone in their family or friends was already there, and if not, you know, the majority. And it's like, if we could distribute those jobs to other people who would statistically be just as well qualified, just for a little bit, like, why on earth are these salaries so outsized to the actual like work they're doing? Right, fighting for everything. So it's like, yeah, you're willing to do the work and just get a little bit. Yeah, because you're survivalist. Yeah, no, I really think we gotta work on that kind of distribution of resources and pay and jobs and all that stuff. Prioritize action. I got halfway through the word and I got distracted. Prioritize action. Taking chances. Growth, etc. All right, now life plan goals. 1 year life plan is relationships, basically, and saving money. So that would be location. 5 years life plan is children, basically. That's a big one. 10 years life plan is yeah, I mean, kind of children again. there's going to be, so I can't say, I want to say growing business there, but that's the business side. What's happening in the other part of my life? I'm going to say raising children and potentially politics, although I don't think I put that on here. I'm going to put potentially politics. It's kind of one of those long-term goals. Raising children, part of the community. I'm going to put politics under 50 years. Supporting social initiatives. Politics. And happy, healthy, growing family. Growing extended family. What do I do now to be on track? All the stuff I've been saying. Save money. Focus on plans. Definitely. Yeah, it's really funny because for my entire life, I did not want children at all. I didn't want kids. I thought if I was going to have kids, I would adopt them. But now it's harder to adopt kids than to have them yourself. I still don't want to have been pregnant and have kids, but unfortunately as a female, that is where we're at, because it's quite expensive and difficult to get a surrogate, unless you have an actual medical reason. But yeah, no, I like I got to a point where suddenly I could see watching people grow from kind of kids and teenagers into adults, and watching that was it was the kind of thing I find rewarding and want to be a part of, helping people grow up and helping people build their own lives and craft their own futures and lives and goals, and just turn into adult people. I think having seen it a couple times now, from watching people grow from children to adults, and for me obviously just the latter years, but just the changes that people go through from like teenage to adult, if you're just a couple years older, watching it can be really rewarding if you're involved. And I don't know, it just suddenly got to that point where it's like, okay, yeah, I do want to be involved in that, in making that kind of impact on the world, especially because I'm very lucky in that I don't have any like health problems or mental health problems or like those kind of issues. And so it's like, okay, it would be statistically, hopefully bringing people into the world who are going to be happy and healthy and hopefully have good lives. So it's kind of where I got to, which was a surprise to me and everyone else. So I swore up and down I would never have kids. Solid planning. Yeah, okay. Here we are. Now we're in 30 minutes. That's actually not bad. I kind of thought we'd been here for longer, but that's fine. If we're actually all the way through Life Plan at this point, we're getting through. Because some of the goal setting stuff is going to go faster because it's some of these are like repeat sheets and stuff. So we're actually we're getting into the nitty gritty of the detail stuff. We're getting into the weekly scorecard and goal sheets and stuff. So moving on to quarterly goals. Yeah, you have the same thinking. Well, I mean, it's also a problem because in a purely practical sense, regardless of how I feel about children, the fact that every what's the word I'm looking for? Developed country on earth has a low, like kind of below replacement level birth rate right now, if not like way below. And even developing countries, their birth rates are slowing down as well. So it's like, that's why all these countries have these huge immigration policies, like America and Europe and Canada and all these places, because the people in charge like understand that yes, we do need young people in the population, because otherwise in 30 years we're gonna be totally fucking screwed. When all of the millennials retire and there's zero people like supporting the economy, because the economy the way it's structured right now depends on that. And also, sure, we can start moving steps to like change how the economy works, and we should, but also like we do need a population to replenish itself. You grew up in a close relationship environment with your parents, brothers, uncle, grandparents. Then your grandparents died and your father got transferred. Yeah, I feel like that's something that I would actually really like to do more, like have that kind of more integrated family structure, because a lot of like America and Canada, even like other Western kind of, depends on which Western country you're talking about, some of them have more of that kind of social structure too, but a lot of Western places have this very like isolated structure. And especially like when you're raising young children, like there's a reason we for centuries lived in these extended family groups, because you need help raising these kids, and instead you end up, sending them off to daycare for 40 hours a week or more, like 60 hours a week if you have commute, and instead of them spending time with family and community and friends and that kind of stuff. And it's like, I feel like that's really a healthier way of doing it if your family's willing to be in that kind of situation. So, some of that you can't control, obviously. If your parents or your extended family is in a different location or not, living their own lives, whatever, but I feel like it's worth trying for. Yeah, India has sufficient amount of population, but again, like I'm saying, even these countries where they had these huge birth rates that were kind of worrisome 20 years ago, and everyone's like, oh no, they have to slow down, the population's growing too fast. It's like, yeah, they did. They're slowing down. Don't worry, everything's slowing down. They're gonna have the exact same problems as us, just like 30 years delayed. I'm sure there's some countries out there that haven't slowed down, but don't worry, they will. As soon as you start educating women and distributing birth control and birth control education, guess what? The birth rate fucking drops. As soon as women realize they have a choice outside of having children, it goes right down. And so then you need to like promote like healthy, actual family reasons to have a family rather than just desperation. All right, or just not knowing options. So we're on the next section, which is quarterly goals. So this is kind of like fluffy, like write down your grand purpose, your divine mission, and your sacred focus on every page. This is for your quarterly goal pages. Determine your business annual goal. We did that already. Your business quarterly goal, we determined the current one, and your life annual goal for the year. We actually already did those, so I'm going to copy them over. Then as you go through the year, you fill in your quarterly goals. So we won't fill out 2, 3, or 4 yet. This page honestly should have been this other page. I actually kind of thought I was confused when I got to this page as to why it existed like that. So I will adjust that too in the final version, because this page here doesn't need to have all this because it should be over here, honestly. So let's cross that out. Get rid of that. So, annual goal is consistent. Write neatly, please. Okay, so my planner's up on Amazon for sale for self-print. Okay, I'm gonna put multiple versions. Journal. There one go. Oh, I put these in the wrong place because I switched them around because I'm silly. Because I moved all the quarter goals to down here, which actually makes more sense. Okay, so quarter one goals. Okay, whatever, save money. These are actually the opposite. This should be life annual and that should be quarterly annual goal. Now, fill out a goal sheet for each goal and transfer your weekly tactics to the weekly scorecard. So we're going to start with the goal sheets for these goals, and then we're going to add any more goals that we also want to add. So goal sheets are the things, the goal sheets in the weekly scorecard come from the 12-week year, which I just finished reading at the end of last year. So I'm definitely excited and amped up to try to implement the 12-week year goals. Oh, we're going to come back to this page, so I think this is the correct time for it too. I had this page in my business settings, but it says based on your life plan, so it helps to fill out the life plan first. So based on your life plan, what should you be doing this year for your business? Are your business goals in line with your overall life plan? So this comes back to these kind of quarterly goal stuff. And the idea would be like you'd fill this out and then kind of fill these guys out with a summary. Yeah, this saying is that before parents, grandparents are the first school of children, right? I mean, that's kind of how it's been for like most of human history. Goals are changing. People are getting used to the internet. Yeah, the internet is just like globalizing culture, right? So everyone's gonna kind of start catching up to the exact same place pretty quick, if not kind of already on their way. Okay, so goals are in line, yes, because I've been crafting them over the year to be in line with this, because I did this last year. I should be. Okay, so focusing on selling, getting stuff out there. Stuff out there. And reaching customers, I guess. Was saving money. Based on your values, your dream job tasks and goals. What should you work on this year? So this was one of the pages that I didn't do on stream because I've done it in the past, but it's dream job values and tasks. So we'll go over this a little bit. So values are the values you hold. So like, what is it you care about in life? Like, do you care about like helping others? Do you care about being kind? Do you care about being creative? Those kind of things. And then like tasks are like, how do you actually practically want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time like in it at a desk? Do you want to spend your time outside making something? Do you want to spend your time being with people, talking to people? Do you want to spend your time reading and learning stuff? Like what kind of tasks do you want to do? And then kind of like, what are your most important things and how can you craft a job that maintains your values and focuses on the tasks that you want to do? Kind of how that works. So for me, it's kind of like tasks I want to do are create things, like artistic things. That's the main task I want to do. I also don't mind tasks like learning about business, running companies, doing financials. Like those are kind of tasks I don't mind doing. I'm fine spending my time doing. And values would be things like I said a lot, like socially and ecologically conscious kind of things, like making sure, I'll write some of this down. Okay, so creating, why not, I'm just saying it out loud. Creating art, crafting, let's say business and finance. And I'm kind of putting point form. You might want to be more specific if you're doing this for the first time. Like I said, I've done this before. Values are care for living things, socially conscious, ecological. ecologically conscious, kind, charitable, generous, but I think that's kind of the same thing. Supportive and respectful is a good one. Sorry. Come back. No! Stop falling over camera. I don't know if that's in the right place or not. Sorry. No, it's really not. More like that. That's better. Okay, so we'll go back to where were we? We were over here. So we're leaving these 3 blank because we're not at quarter 2, 3, or 4 yet. So based on your values and dream job tasks, which we just covered, and goals, this needs to be reformatted. This whole sentence is bad. There's a highlighter in there, so I remember to kind of touch it up in the final copy. Should work on this year. I should work on making time for creation, which I do every Wednesday and Thursday now. Wow, spell please. Wednesday and Thursday. And education, business, finance, and mindset. What should you focus on? Consistent productivity. And no fear mindset, acting without fear instead of holding yourself back and procrastinating. What should you not do or outsource? Social media, which I started doing last year. Like, what are you wasting your time on that's not using your time and skills to the best extent? And sometimes you can't outsource this stuff, but you can just stop doing it. And sometimes you can't outsource it or stop doing it yet, but you can kind of plan to move in that direction. And how do you get so that you don't have to do it anymore? Yeah, social media I should not be doing. Honestly, I should be outsourcing my email because I fucking hate dealing with my email list, and it's evident by the fact that I didn't fucking do it this year, really. So future, I'm gonna put email list because I don't want to. Okay. That page we already covered. Quarterly goals. Okay, so we're onto the weekly scorecard and goal sheets. So let's go through goal sheets. This is the part that I've kind of been waiting for because I really want to implement this system. So the idea with this system is that you set a goal for 12 weeks and you set it as if you'd set an annual goal. And then you complete it in 12 weeks because you just don't give yourself the fluff time to mess around. Whereas people set their annual goals and then they ignore them for the first, 3/4 of the year, and then suddenly go, oh shit, I guess I better really make some sales now, or I guess I better really catch up and finish my goal, and then they finish it by the end of the year. But it's like, did you really need 12 months for that, or could you have actually done that in 12 weeks if you just pushed and prioritized? So, okay, so goal is, how many planners do I think I could? I think I could publish one thing a month. Could I publish one thing a month on PDF and Amazon? I guess the thing about the 12-week goals is that you don't have to set it for the whole year. You can try for 1 quarter, and then if it doesn't work, you reevaluate. So let's try that. Let's try one planner PDF and one planner KDP per month, so per 4 weeks. Okay, deadline is going to be in 12 weeks. So that equals I know I was 12 weeks from now. This stream is so random in terms of quality. Theoretically, you'd be starting this at the beginning of the year, but we're not, so we're just gonna deal with what we got, which is the idea of the system instead of, oh shit, I never said I wasn't doing that anymore. Stopped. Oh no, what did I do? Oh my god, I totally screwed this up. Oh my god, how did I screw this up so terribly badly? Jesus Christ, what? Oh my good god, that was terrible. Okay. Okay, so it should start 1726. Holy Christ. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my... Oh, okay, thank you. God. It's my time tracking from today. I just screwed it up really, really badly. Okay. Sweet. There we go. Okay. Goodness, I was just trying to look up dates. Good lord. You got some food, good. Is the quality being stable? Excellent. Yeah, I screwed up my time tracker. I ended up like putting my previous entry for like a day and a half, and I'm like, that's not correct. I was not working for a day and a half. Thank God. Okay, we fixed it though. Okay, dates. There's the actual Apple calendar. I don't use it very often. Where did I hide it? There it is. Okay. So I'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this will end kind of April 24th. It's 12 weeks. At least I think it is. So we'll check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, and that's next week. Perfect. Okay. So that's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So that's 3 months. So that's 6 total. But really, it's 1 plus a different version of 1. So 3 total plus 3 additional versions. Well, plus 1 additional version of each. Scribe goal. Okay, publish. Planner. / book. Each month. To both my website and Amazon. Thank you. Hey, Gorgeous, how's it going? Shouldn't have clicked that though, not on this computer. The computer's having enough struggles as it is. Should have clicked it on the other computer. There. Why is this goal meaningful to you? What was the point of these goals? Can't make money if you don't have anything to sell. Build business. So now milestones on this might be, they're going to be different depending on what your goal is. This might be like individual things, it might be like progress things, it might be all sorts of different things. So milestones would be each month, so like yeah, I'm just going to put the month, so February, March, April. So daily sacrifices, the point of this column is to basically be like, what's the quote? Like, all things considered, you will do the comfortable thing over the new thing that takes you out of your comfort zone. So what is it that you're going to have to sacrifice in order to get this goal done? Like, and for most people that's like, you know, is it time watching Netflix? Is it time playing video games? Is it time, you know, maybe going out with your friends? Or like, what is it that you're going to have to not do in order to get this done, that you can ahead of time mentally, hopefully therefore be more likely to, at the time, keep up with your goals. So for me to actually get this done, what is the thing that keeps holding me back from this stuff? It's like fear of, it's that discomfort of doing something new because I haven't done it very often, and it's always very discouraging because there's always a new hurdle that comes up, if not 10, in the process of actually publishing something. So it's like, deal with the discomfort of your computer freezing, deal with the discomfort of Amazon telling you that the file isn't correct, deal with the discomfort of the file just not working properly, deal with the discomfort of, you know, the fear of people thinking what you produce is silly or not good or that kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to say fear of appearances / judgment. And I'm going to say discomfort of technological hurdles repeatedly. repeated endless technological hurdles. Okay, so the tactics for this are like the specific steps you need to do in order to reach this goal. So this is a pretty straightforward goal. Oh crap. Come on, I'm just trying to close the browser that I shouldn't have opened because I'm dumb. And now it's kind of like not happy with me. So for this goal, they're pretty straightforward, but for some goals, you might have like completely different goals. So like if your goal was, like for example, to like lose weight, you know, whatever specific amount. So one of your goals might be a one-time goal, like join a gym. You only do that once and you're done. Whereas another goal might be make a meal plan every week. And so that would be due every week. And then you'd be checking it off every week. So like different goals like that, whereas another goal might be something like exercise every day, and then you know you're still checking it off on a weekly basis, but like you're making sure it happens every day. So like you can have different time frames for the tactics. Those are just all the details that have to be done in order to, oh my god, I fucked this computer up. There we go. I have to remember, if I'm trying to use Task Manager, I can't, and the computer's in an iffy state, I can't use the mouse, I have to use the keyboard, and then I can close things. But if I try to use the mouse, it fucking gets frozen. Okay, but I think we're, I think I closed it. Okay, so tactics for this is, what are the steps I need to do? I need to be graphic design in Canva. That's going to be, I mean, I feel like that's once a week, but that's probably not enough. Let's put it in anyways. Design in Canva. I'm going to say once per week. I'm going to say product development, like kind of just ideas and stuff. I'm going to say once per week as well. Ideas once per week. Then the other parts of this, and I put 5 lines here on this sheet, but like if you have a goal with more than 5 different tasks, like feel free to just like write it on another sheet or write it differently, or if you printed it on a full-size sheet of paper, you might have more room to like double up or whatever. You know, whatever works for you. I thought 5 was probably a reasonable number for me, but for some goals it definitely wouldn't be enough. Like if, I don't know, if your goal was like sales and you're like, I want to sell this many, whatever, doohickeys for this week, you know, you might have goals like contact clients or reach out to new clients or get referrals, or, you know, in addition to kind of all the other stuff that you have to do, like actually make calls and stuff. So yeah, Task Manager's super fucking frozen. That's cool. I love it. Please go away so I can see Streamlabs again. Ah, god damn it. Okay, well, it seems to be working fine on my monitor. I can see that the stream is going, so I can't see the thing. I suppose I should get something up so I can see the chat. Alt tab worked. Fucking A. the steps of this that I don't want to do are the things like actually so export and upload as PDF. To website. That's once per month. And then what I really don't want to do is reformat and upload to KDP once per month. And then the final step would be promote. Promote. And that would be twice per month. Okay. Reward is part of the, it was on this kind of sheet. Oh, I forgot this sheet. This sheet is actually from Story Brand, Donald Miller again, and this sheet is from 12-week year. Pretty sure this is from Donald Miller. But I thought it fit nicely together. And again, it kind of covers the Atomic Habit style, which is like the, you know, get your setting right, get your tactics right, understand what the minimize your discomfort and maximize your reward. A raid! Oh my goodness! How everyone's doing? Thank you for the raid, Amina. How was your stream? How's everyone going? We are doing goal planning today. What's everyone else been up to? Get some good stuff done. Hi! Everyone go check Amina study out. I've been good. I got my work done and we've been doing goal setting, so it's been wonderful. Except for when my computer froze 5 minutes ago, but then I fixed it eventually. And if anyone wants to join in, you can download the workbook for free until the end of the month at that link there. And we're going through it right now. We did half of it earlier in the week and we're finishing it up today. We're in the nitty-gritty details now, like how to actually fill out the goal sheets. I don't know what reward. I'm so bad at thinking of rewards for things. Oh yeah, egg chair is in the background. Good old egg chair. Right? It's like that kind of like wicker work. It is like a dream catcher. You had quite a day. Get some good rest. Excellent. Oh, thank you for the raid again. Hope you have a good sleep. Oh, darn it. It just tells it. If I don't put the name in it, just tells it for the original person. Of course. I always do that. It wasn't supposed to be for myself. There we go. Thank you for the lurk. There we are. I always do it wrong. I'll figure out commands one day. Alright, so rewards again. So you can have rewards for each milestone, and you can have a reward overall. So I definitely want a individual one, because you want to kind of give that a kind of advanced goal. Otherwise your brain, which is focused on short-term rewards and avoiding short-term pain, will not help you. Whereas if you keep giving it little rewards, think video game style, little bits, lots that frequently at first, and then you slow it down as you get into the habit, then you're fine. But if you start by being like, I'll get one big reward at the end, your brain goes, fuck no, we're not doing this for 12 weeks with no reward in sight. It just can't understand. So I don't even know what rewards I want though. I'm trying to think what I want that is not doesn't require spending money, because one of the next goals is going to be save money. So obviously you want to make sure your rewards don't impact either themselves. Like if your goal is to like save money or lose weight, you don't want your reward to be spend money on something or like eat unhealthy foods, etc. But on the other hand, you also want to make sure the rewards are things that are actually going to be motivating, or not motivating, but at least rewarding. Because you're not trying to consciously activate your brain, you're trying to subconsciously associate good things with the goal and the habit that you're trying to do. Because consciously, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but subconsciously, your brain will remember the nice things associated with the thing it had to do. What am I going to put in here? Might leave that and come back to it just because I don't want to spend forever thinking about something I can't quite figure out. Okay, so I'm going to go through and show how to do the weekly scorecard. So the point of the weekly scorecard is to be actively evaluating your execution on your goals, because your execution is different than whether your goals are working or not. And most people, at least a lot of people, confuse execution with whether the thing is working or not. So if you have a goal for your business to make X amount of sales, and you're like, to achieve that goal, I'm going to try a new step of, promoting this product on social media once a week, for the next 12 weeks, and hopefully this will bring in new sales. And so you do it, but you only do it, or maybe you say you're going to promote something every day. You only do it like 5 days a week, and you do it kind of maybe not every week, and by the end of the 12 weeks, you only did it maybe like 50-60% of the time, and it didn't work, and you go, oh well, that didn't work, I'm going to try something new next time, I'll go on YouTube, right? What you're doing is responding to the wrong thing. You don't actually know if your plan would have worked. You just know that your execution of the plan, which was not what you intended, didn't work. Maybe if you had done it every day and every week according to your plan, it would have worked, like it would have resulted in the sales. So the point is to be very careful of measuring your execution versus the actual payoff. And this kind of leads into like lead goals versus lag goals, which I'll cover briefly. Lead goals are things that you can control. They are things that you actively do at the moment, whereas lag goals are things that you can't control but are related to the things you can. So a lead goal is how often you post a link to your sale product. A lag goal is how many sales you make. You can't control how many people buy the thing, but you can control how often you post. So you want to measure both, but it's important to understand the difference between them and how they interact, that you're not confusing the two. So that's kind of what we're trying to measure here. So we're going to put goal, publishing. Now this page, for me, it didn't print properly. Obviously it's very washed out, but there's like a grid here and stuff that you can see. Did it print properly? Oh yes, look, so I printed on this page in the right colors, so you can actually see there's like spots to check things off every week. And you can write either a number, like a percentage in here, you can just put a check, you can put like multiple ticks. Whatever makes sense to you, you can put, do I have an extra line on there? I do have an extra line on there. I'm going to try to get rid of that on the original file. That's terrible. Sometimes when you're working on graphics, you can tell that you can't see, can't always see things depending on what percentage scale you're looking at. But Nahil, get some good study going. Thanks for hanging out. And so again, for execution, you're aiming for 85%. You don't need to hit 100% every time, but if you're getting less than 85%, you're not really measuring that goal. You're kind of measuring that you're failing at the tactics, and you need to reevaluate how much is actually viable to do in a week, and then evaluate that consistently, rather than pretend you're evaluating one thing when you're actually evaluating another. So again, you can just kind of copy like your tactics from your goal sheets, and then the point is you don't have to look at this every week. You look at this all in one page, and you can like at a glance get an idea of how well everything's going, multiple goals at a time. So I'm gonna put design, I'm gonna put ideas, I'm gonna put export, put reformat, and I'm gonna put promote. And so these are mostly things that happen. I'm gonna put the details in here. So once per week, once per week, once per month, and twice per month. So like for instance, the things that are once per week, they would get a check mark in every box or like a percentage mark. If it was something that, if it was like 5 times a week or 7 times a week, like every day, you could put like, you know, like 1 out of 5 or 70% or whatever it is, right? Just something consistent. Don't switch around your method of scoring, otherwise you won't be able to tally it at the bottom. And then at the bottom, you can't see on this page, but on this page there's again 12 boxes for the weeks, and I spaced them out a bit wider so that you can write like a numerical percent or a fraction if you want in there. And evaluate how well you're doing on each week. And you might find you have some weeks that are better and some weeks that are worse, and you can kind of just evaluate how you're doing for each goal. So for things like something that only happens once a month, you're not going to have that every week. Some of these boxes are just going to be crossed out, right? Okay, I still haven't decided on rewards. What else is here? Okay, so the point is the next step is design the schedule, which includes all of your goals that you've figured out that you're focusing on. And the idea of like having the 3 goals would be to match your 3 priorities at any time. You should have an 2 annual priorities and a quarterly priority. That the problem with that is that sometimes like this might be, you know, one of these might have multiple goals involved in it. So, you know, you can print more of these as you need if you do need more. And you can print as many of the goal sheets as you want as well. So those ones are set up. They should be set up in the file so that you can print them just on their own. Okay, so the next goal for me is save money. Let's put that on. Sheet, save money. Deadline again, so same deadline because we're doing that 12-week goal, so April 24th. Okay, this is the point where I have to actually come up with real numbers. Oh god. So this is going to be kind of a spending money goal, really, because it's spend less money. Is what it really is. Spend less money. Stick to budget. Now I don't think I'm going to put specific numbers in here because I have to figure out what exactly that budget should be. Based on, actually, this number should probably be related to how much time I can spend on work after I figure out what my other goals are, because how much money I can save depends on how much money I can make, depends on how much time I have to work my day job. At least until the business starts making money, which would be nice, right? Stick to budget, and yeah, work consistently. But I mean, work consistency is not really a struggle. I do that generally. Except obviously in December, we go to holiday time off. But I knew that was coming. That wasn't a surprise. Still wasn't consistent though. Why is this goal meaningful to you? Supports next steps in business and life. Business launch. And life goals. Okay, so milestones are... See, this is the way it's good to be doing the 12-week goals. We gotta know the next goal after saving a certain amount of money is doing crowdfunding, which is its own completely separate goal for the business. So that's like, there's no point planning that goal out until I get this goal done, and instead my brain wants to focus on all those far out goals, and it's like, no, just focus on this one for now. That's where you need to prioritize your time and energy and mental space. There's no point planning out a fundraising series when you're still on be able to pay to promote your fundraising launch and find investors. So again, if your goal is something like fundraising, and like some of your goals might be, reach out to investors, like create a list of people who might invest, things like that, right? Create materials to promote your venture. Craft a business plan, all those sorts of things, right? Business plan I have. Marketing money I need. So milestones for this are going to be daily sacrifices or not buy things. Buy things. Sad face. So I don't know, how much can I conceivably save in 12 weeks, I guess is the answer. I think, again, like I said before, this depends on how much I can work, which depends on how much time I have for my job, which depends on what my other goals are. So I'm going to come back to this one. Tactics include, though, stick to weekly budget, and weekly work plan. Because I'm in that weird hybrid of like freelance employee kind of hybrid, like how much I work really depends on me, so it's like I've got to make sure I focus on making the right goals. Let's put savings. And we're not going to put tactics in again. Oh, actually, no, we just started doing tactics. So budget. Budget is once per week, and work plan is once per week. I mean, really that's more like 5 days per week, but we'll do it on a weekly basis. What is the next goal I want? Where am I? Lost them. There we go. So save money, products for sale. These are kind of like the same goal here. I feel like one of these should be different. This is not the life goal, though. It's the quarter goal. But so business annual goal and life and business annual goal and quarter one goal are kind of the same goal for me. Hey Nabil, how's it going? Welcome. We are doing goal setting. Have a good night. So I guess the idea is my annual goal consistent products for sale? Maybe my annual goal should be more like production and promotion. I'm going to say and promotion because that way my next goal can be promotion, which is things like have a regular Twitch schedule and have a regular social media schedule, which are the other things I need to be doing. And promotion. So let's put goal sheet. Oh, I'm going to switch pen colors now that we switched thingamajig after lifetime. Too late now. Okay. Do I have another goal sheet? I do somewhere. Where is it though? Do I though? Do I not? Oh no. There it is. I'm like, I thought I printed a whole bunch. Yeah, I did. Well, at least I printed more than one. I have at least one more, which is exactly the number I need, so that's good. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here. Yeah. You come with me. Yeah, these are such a weird order for me because the printer just like had a glitch fit. Got really weird on me. Oh, I should drink some water. I'm getting thirsty. I should make myself a drink. I'm gonna be right back. I'll make a drink.
Inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the Tahoe closest starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I don't wanna say goodbye.
What was I doing? Sitting here like a sucker with no drink. Much better. Alright, so final goal is social media type stuff, so. And like consistency, Twitch schedule. I'm gonna say social media consistency is the goal. then we can reevaluate, because I want this for the whole year, but we reevaluate after 12 weeks and see what's working, what isn't working, what needs to happen. Okay, so describe this goal. Sure, you're just outside. Consistent, active, online presence. Be cool if I could spell. Why is this goal meaningful to you? Build an audience. Oh, reward for save money. One of the rewards should be fucking new laptop. Like, holy shit, that is something I need, and this is kind of ties into that whole, like, don't make your goals in competition to your rewards. But no, fuck, if I save money, I need a new laptop, because as evidenced by the fact that this thing keeps glitching all stream. New laptop. And then the goal after that could be new iPad, because I really want to get one of the iPads where you can use the Apple Pencil. I'd like to do that. Yeah, that's the fucking reward for that one. But I can't do it until I save some money. Okay, build an audience. Milestones for this one are going to be... I feel like this is just monthly milestones again, like February, March, April. So again, so lead indicators versus lag indicators. Lead indicators would be how many times a week are you posting on social media, versus a lag indicator would be how many follows are you getting, how many comments are you getting, how many likes are you getting. Whereas if you only measure how many followers you have no idea how that ties into what you did. Whereas if you only measure what you did, you have no idea whether that produced results or not. Another lag indicator might be how many posts you made versus how many sales you made, that kind of stuff. How many posts you made versus how much money you made, like, etc. Like, what did people buy? The tactics for this are regular Twitch schedule. I feel like that's pretty much stabilized at this point, but not always super consistent in times. I'd like to be more consistent in times. Schedule. Or like 5 days a week or something. I'm gonna say sleep schedule, because that's like impacts my work schedule, which impacts everything else. So sleep schedule is like 7 times a week, 7 times per week. Whereas Twitch schedule, I think I have Twitch stuff on like 5 to 7 days a week. I'm gonna say 6 times per week, because that gives me one day where I'm definitely off, but usually I feel like it might be 5 times. I'm gonna put 5 times a week, because that way it gives me 2 days where I'm not beholden to doing something, and then if I want to, I can do 6 times if it works out. The sleep schedule is every day. Social media. I'm gonna put, am I doing TikTok every day? I don't want to, but I should. Okay, I'm gonna put TikTok 7 times per week. I'm gonna put Instagram. This is 7 posts a week, but it's 1 day worth of work for me because I'm using my social media manager to do that. So I'm gonna say Instagram batch once per week. That involves filming, photography, and uploading, and like reviewing. What's the other thing I should be doing? Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. What else is working right I feel like I'm forgetting something social media wise. Oh, maybe Discord. Maybe Discord should be on there. Discord's already on my daily habit list. Or maybe it should just be engagement in general. Engagement is also on my daily to-do list, but I kind of count that as like, did I do any part of my business stuff in the day? And usually that's a yes, so I just check it off. Whereas engagement should really be its own category. Maybe this should be engagement. It should probably be engagement. Yeah, because everything else is about posting, which is about grabbing attention. Engagement is about actually building connections and making that next step. I'm gonna put engagement. I'm gonna put engagement 7 times per week, and then that can be filtered throughout different platforms. So it can be Twitch engagement, honestly, is kind of like what happens naturally because I really actively try to reach out to other streamers when I'm going to be streaming or have just streamed. So that one kind of happens naturally. But things like actually responding to comments on Instagram, I don't fucking do that. Actually, I don't get comments on Instagram. I get comments on TikTok, but I sometimes respond. But fucking even on Instagram, it would be reaching out and commenting on other people's stuff. So I'm gonna put engagement because that's something I'm not actively prioritizing. I'll put 7 times per week because that's a reasonable number if I spread it out between different platforms. Whereas if I have to engage 7 times per week on every platform, like on 5 platforms a day, that's when I know I'm not going to do it. Reward for social media consistency. What am I going to want in April? I'm going to do my milestones. Yeah, let's say February. We'll do monthly milestones for this too. March. See, it's a quarterly goal sheet. The weekly scorecard is not supposed to be on the back of the quarterly goal sheet. Like, it's not supposed to be in this place. But it is. So, it's supposed to be after the goal sheet. It's like there. Be more functional in it. I'm going to put social media. So what are the tactics? Twitch. Twitch is 5 times per week. Sleep is 7 times per week, and that's really just going to bed at a decent time, waking up at not a decent time, going to bed at an intentional time, and waking up at an intentional time. Because the problem is not working late hours. I have no problem doing that. The problem is working late hours because I screwed up my schedule like a week ago and I haven't been able to reset it. And I don't want to be doing it. That's where it becomes a problem. I have no problem being nocturnal intentionally. Sometimes. But I would like it to be intentional. I haven't posted a TikTok yet today, and that is one of my daily things I already have on my daily list. Oh, one of my life habits should have been like continue with habits. I'm gonna put that in there. Habits, which I've been doing great on. I've been doing flossing, meditating, reading, everything. TikTok, Instagram, and engagement. It's 1 time per week. Engagement. 7 times per week. I still don't have rewards for these. The milestones are just the monthly ones on this, so that's easy. Oh, sacrifice. What are the sacrifices for social media consistency? This is a lot of the same sacrifices from this one, which is fear of judgment, kind of posting stuff that I'm like, oh god. But not staying up late. Some of this is also acknowledging when something I'm working on has taken too long and I need to stop for the day and finish it the next day. And it's like, okay, if I spent like 5 hours on this and I need to go to bed, I can't spend another 3 hours on it. Even if I could finish it, I need to go to bed and do it next week and just put it off till the next week of graphic design. Which, I mean, could impact this goal, right? Where it's like, oh, well, I didn't actually get it uploaded this week. You know, if I'm on week 3 and I haven't uploaded one of them yet, and I'm supposed to have 2 done by the end of the month, it's like, that starts to get a problem. So it's kind of balancing those out. So not staying up too late. Overcoming boredom of doing. How can I? So this is one of the things of the Atomic Habits by James. I should write a list of all the things that went into this book, at least the ones I can remember. There's a bunch of stuff in this planner that I don't remember, but definitely Donald Miller came up a bunch. Storybrand. The only thing of his I can remember is such an evocative name, but he's done a bunch of books. Atomic Habits came up. 12-Week Year came up. What else did I say that came up in this planner so far? Life Plan. Some of the stuff is from random places. Oh, Being Boss came up. Their CEO Day Kit. There's a bunch of stuff in here from CEO Day Kit. A lot of the business goal setting stuff is from CEO Day Kit. Life review is from somewhere in particular, so I'll find that because I have the original PDFs that I used to work from on that. Yeah, I guess I should have a reference section probably. I don't remember where Daily Non-Negotiables was. That might have been Being Boss. Anything else in here? One sheet is from, oh, who's that copywriter? Just one of the big ones. I can't remember. Oh, this one. I don't know where the advanced to-do list came from. I can find it. My ritual was and like okay, so well, Phil was going to put a reference sheet in the file at some point. Overcoming boredom of social media posts. Of writing posts. I'm not doing the Instagram ones anymore, but TikTok's still boring sometimes. Although I enjoy TikTok more. I like finding funny ones and stuff. Plus TikTok has payoff. People actually watch the fucking shit. Instagram is like all this work for no reward. So it gets very discouraging very fucking fast. Whereas on TikTok, even if only, 1 out of 10 of your videos like hits a big audience, it does, and then you feel like naturally rewarded, which is nice. Boredom of writing posts. And also, like, all of this stuff leads into the sleep schedule because the problem is I'll hit the end of the day and I'll go, oh, I'm fucking exhausted and I'm already late for bed, so I don't have time to spend an hour doing engagement and posting to TikTok. So I won't. I'll just go to sleep, which is not the worst idea, but the idea is, like, if I'd gotten up at a regular schedule, I would have finished my work by 6 p.m. and then had the whole evening to spend an hour doing this stuff and still have free time. Whereas what I do instead is wake up at noon, spend 3 hours reading, or sometimes it's productive stuff. It's like checking email or paying bills or doing accounting or whatever, going through a course. But then I have to rush and finish my work. I don't get my work finished till like 9 p.m. or midnight, and then it's like, oh crap, okay, I have to do a live stream for art or whatever. Then it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, I'm too tired to do all the other stuff on my to-do list. That's what I'm trying to prevent. with this system. Boredom of writing posts. I have to overcome what I try to do. Where's my camera going? Oh my god, stay still, please. Stop myself when I'm in the zone in the afternoon, right after I wake up. Get to work. Start work earlier instead of, because I don't want to get up at like the crack of dawn. I want to get up at like 10, 11. That's fine. But I want to start work at 1 p.m., which means I have to set up my live stream before that, which means I have to be getting ready at like noon, which means I have to have already finished my reading, meditation, etc. before noon. Which means I have to be up at like 11. You need to go to bed at a certain time. See, it all comes back. You just gotta work through it. Start work earlier instead of reading, etc. for too long. And the reading is usually like business reading or a course or something, so it's like, oh, I feel like I'm being productive, but it's like, no, really, read for 30 minutes and then come back the next day, etc. There's a bunch of sacrifices for this one. Engagement. Ugh, boredom of engagement. Ugh. See, that's why Twitch engagement is easy, because I actually like talking to people on Twitch, but fucking I hate responding to comments on Instagram or writing a comment on Instagram. Ugh. Ugh. It's not for me. If anyone is or knows someone who's really good at like TikTok engagement, or Instagram engagement, let me know, because I fucking don't want to do it myself. Overcome boredom of writing, responding to comments. So the point of writing this out is that if you call it out, when it happens, you go, oh, yeah, but I knew this was going to be boring and I said I would do it. Whereas if you don't call it out, when it happens, you go like, oh, this is awful and I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to. Because you're just like, why does it feel awful every time? Whereas if you call it out in advance, you're like, I knew it was going to be boring. And I made this goal anyways, so I'm going to do it. That's the idea. Okay, so we got milestones. Yeah, I need some better goals for things. Like the laptop is a good goal. That's a motivating goal. Because I really, really want a new laptop. I don't know what goals to do on the goals. Okay, well, we'll leave those for now. I'll come back to this because I think we're almost done here. So these are just reprints. You can print more of these things. So, design your schedule is supposed to be about all this. And I've already designed my schedule, so I'll go through and show you what my schedule is. But it's actually in my other book because I already did it for last year. And then if you have some of the other planners, I have things like annual goal trackers. I have things like reading trackers, media trackers, so you can track what you're reading and doing. Okay, so here's the current schedule I'm using, which is, okay, so we've got design schedule, we've got book club and writing club. I'm going to use different pens for this because I usually do use colors for this to organize things. Okay, we've got book club and writing club are once per month each on Mondays. Day job. Now, I usually take Monday and Fridays off, but on my job I'm lucky I can take whichever days I want off, so if I need to shift them, I can. But I like working the weekends because there's a bonus, you make a little bit more money on the weekend, so I generally try to work the weekends, but when I need one off, I take it. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire, I got my own cold digger, if I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Okay, we've got our club on Wednesdays. And so for me, my AM is mostly usually sleeping, so I've kind of left that pretty blank. So for you, if you're like I start work at 8:30 in the morning person, then you probably put it on in the morning. But you can do whatever you feel like. For me, most of the stuff I do is in the afternoon, evening. Okay, this is film, reels, and review slash update. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go. This all I've ever known. Got Design Club on Thursday. So the point is, you take all the goals that you have from your weekly things and you fill them in here. Like, when do you do them? How often do you do them? Fill them in. So like things like review budget should be on here for me. Graphic design's on here. And yeah, business. My aunt think I'm perfect. I know I'm not. My mama be worried. I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a fit. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people. I'm gonna put business work on the Friday. I'm an addict. I'm a low life. I got habits, but I refuse to be. So this would be the design goal I have, and this would be the other stuff like the exporting and formatting. This. Engagement should probably be on that Monday, actually. I'll put that in. Otherwise, where is it going? No, goal review is here. So this should be goal review and probably budget review too. Business streamer, mastermind. I'll put mastermind. Goal review. Scorecards. The weekly scorecards, and I'm going to put budget in here because that's one of my goals, and I didn't have that on my previous one, but it should be on there. Saturday is just day job, and I'm trying to keep Saturday evening free for social reasons. And then Sunday should be. I put weekly planning on here, but should it really be on there? To-dos and schedule can be on Sunday evening. Yeah, because this is more of like the goal review, and this is more of like the actual to-do lists, which I think is next up. Yeah, to-do lists are next up. Weekly planning. Bullet journaling. To-dos and schedule. Okay, so that's the weekly plan. I think that covers all the goals. The budgeting one was the one I didn't have in before. Everything else I already had in here. And engagement, I added engagement, which is good. Twitch schedule was already on here. And I added in. See, this is really good. This is really good. I did not have work on business on Friday day written in. I didn't have engagement written in. And I didn't have, there's something else. Oh, budget review written in. So like I just working through this process just helped me add things into my weekly schedule that I hadn't been considering before. And obviously if I don't check my budget, I'm never going to actually save money. So that's exactly why we're doing this system. The system works. So that's just a repeat. You can like, if you can do one of these each quarter, or if your goals change whenever, you can fill out a new one. Or if you realize halfway through that like one of these tactics just isn't fucking working for you, like I cannot do this on a daily basis, it's got to be weekly or whatever, you can kind of rearrange. Or if something in your practical life changes, like if your job changes to a new schedule or whatever, you can fill it out as many times as you like. Weekly review. We are down to the weekly. This is the last stage. Once a week, fill out either a life plan to-do list or a focus to-do list. So we have two types of to-do list. Life plan to-do list, focus to-do list. So focus to-do list is again taken from, I think it was called an advanced to-do list in their book. And the notable part was the Devil's Vortex, and it was definitely about, these 3 goals, and then everything else goes into the other category. Versus the life plan to-do list, I think this is more functional for me as more of a quarterly to-do list. Kind of, this would be really functional on a week where you're busy with lots of different things, where you're like, I have, a roller skating meetup on one day, and I have all my work to do, and I have, a social event, and I have this YouTube I'm watching, or this course I'm taking on, whatever, and I have a fucking volunteer event, plus I also have savings to do. Like, the life plan to-do list is when you have a whole bunch of disparate things going on in one week, whereas focus to-do list is more of like a typical week where you're like, well, theoretically typical, either one could be typical for you. The life plan is more like where you can focus everything you're doing onto those 3 major categories. Like, all your priorities are like your main one, your life one, and your quarterly one, and then everything else you can kind of put on the back burner. That's the point, is to remind yourself that it's back burner. Whereas this one has the Devil's Vortex on there too, but it's smaller because you do have like 6 categories. The benefit of the life plan one is that you kind of get a review of your vision. You can write it out each morning and be like, I'm going to do this. Fucking business, fucking fashion, fucking empire, fucking new job, fucking whatever it is for you. Like, find a relationship, whatever. So get everything in your head out onto paper. That's the benefit of this one, is that you can just like write all the tasks you have and just put them, whatever category they fit in, write them down, and then you can see like how many of my tasks this week are for whatever. And that's, I mean, for me, I go through a lot of to-do lists, which is why I actually like my regular planner. Show you. So my regular planner, which is up for sale already, you have each day, you can put a focus priority at the top. You can put, I use this to either put like 3 priorities at the bottom, kind of what were the 3 main things I did that day. Or if you're tracking something like, how much money did I spend? How much money did I make? How many posts on social media did I do? Whatever it is you're tracking, you can put that down here, or you can put multiple things down here. And then at the end I have the notes section, which I usually use as my weekly to-do list. And I fill that out there. But usually things get bumped over from week to week, and I will work from a monthly or quarterly to-do list, kind of all the things I want to get done for that quarter or that month. Especially if you're like me and you have something to do and you're like, this could get done at any point. It doesn't have a deadline, but I'd like to get it done this month. It's like, pick up my shoes from the cobbler. That could get done any point in the next 6 months, but it should get done as soon as possible. It's like, well, put it down under the Devil's Vortex, and then when I have a spare moment, it can get transferred to my weekend and get done. Like, oh, I know I'm going downtown this day. That to-do list item should get added to that day. Then your cobbler calls you like 6 times and is like, are you gonna pick these up again? And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna pick those up eventually. They're expensive. Do not throw them away. They're like, we won't do that, but like, please come take your fucking shoes. ADD. Alright, anything else that is not part of one of your priority tasks, one of your important tasks? So this is the difference between the urgent and the important. Only important things go in these categories. Urgent important things also go in these categories. They should be prioritized. But, so like pay for your web hosting. That's something I have to do this week. That's an urgent priority. Whereas, important priority. Whereas anything else that is maybe urgent, but still not a priority, doesn't get to go in one of the primary spots. It gets to go in the unprimary spot. And that's how you do it. So this one is the hardline version where it doesn't go on your schedule. I put them on my schedule. And like I said, like I need to pick up my shoes at some point. If I don't write it in my schedule, I will forget about it forever and then I'll throw my shoes out. So I put them in. But the point is to not prioritize it over work. Schedule it around your priority work. So schedule in your day job, your business stuff, and then add all the extra stuff in. Fill out your weekly planner, that's like the full planner, and your schedule, that's the thing we just did. Review it. Remember, so this is kind of some tips. These are like, let's go straight into, oh, I forgot, I didn't print out some of the pages from this planner. There's a whole gratitude section that I didn't print out because I've already done it. You can go through and it's like a gratitude journal meditation thing. You can go through and like write out all the prompts for kind of what you're grateful for, and this is one of those mindset kind of mental health things. It's really good to do. There's also a productivity little section with just a whole bunch of tips for being productive, especially if you're ADD, kind of how to think about work, how to prioritize goals, how to get started on work, how to make goal sheets and goal trackers, and kind of, it's just some helpful tips that I put in the planner to kind of help you out. But I didn't actually print out, so I can't cover them right now. But they are in the planner as little bonuses. Okay, so tip-wise, remember to leave room for the unexpected. Don't schedule yourself 24 hours a day. Caveat, unless you're one of those people who works really well with a 24-hour-a-day schedule, they do exist, but they're not most people, so be really careful if you're like, I can do that. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. Some people it does, but they're pretty rare. Leave buffer time to avoid getting behind schedule, because the problem for me is exactly that thing I do where it's like, oh, well, I'll finish this tonight, and then it runs 3 hours over, and then you go to bed 3 hours late, and then you wake up 3 hours late, and then the next day is offset by 3 hours, and then the next day is offset by 4 hours, and then because you didn't leave any buffer room. Leave some buffer room so that you can accommodate. Leave some goddamn blank space just to let your brain settle. Like, you shouldn't be on the go 24 hours a day. You do need blank time. You do need free time. Your brain does need a rest. You can't work and study or whatever, 18 hours a day and sleep for 8 hours. Like, you're gonna die. Or you're not gonna die, you're just gonna hate yourself, and then it's gonna work fine for like 3 weeks, and then it's gonna implode and ruin everything. So don't let yourself get to that point. I've done it. Also, this is something I've kind of been thinking about a lot lately, which is balance your work with restorative time to avoid burnout, so you don't get mad about things, you don't get like pissed off about what your plans are and what you're doing. Or you get to that point where it's like with me, where it's like you're doing everything great and you're doing it great and you're fucking doing it, and then you get to a point where you just don't. You just fucking stop. You're like, no, I'm just gonna sit here and fucking go on Instagram for fucking 5 hours straight and not do anything. And like look up fucking memes or whatever, right? Like just nothing. For me, it's usually art or fashion. And then you wonder why you did that. And it's like, oh, also, if you wonder why you did that, that's what we have the impulse tracker for. There's a better one now, but this one still has the basic gist of it. I don't think this is in this file, it's in a different file to download. But the point is you write down you can write one of these yourself. It's like date of the situation, but what your conscious desire is, what your actual goal is, like work or whatever, business. Your unconscious impulse, which is what you are trying to do, which is maybe fuck around on social media, go on Netflix, play a video game, whatever. What emotion you're feeling, like, is it boredom? Is it fear of looking silly? Is it, like anxiety? Is it, like, what is the emotion? And kind of what can you learn from this? Like, what did you end up doing in the end? Was it the right thing or the wrong thing? Or the goal or the impulse? And how could you avoid this in the future? Like, did you let yourself get burnt out? Did you not take a break earlier? Should you have given yourself a reward? What could you do in the future to avoid this? So, useful for ADD and other people. Just leave it all blank. I mean, that's one way to schedule. But yeah, like, plan time to actually refill your cup instead of just pouring endlessly. If all you do is say, like, I'm gonna study all day, every day, that works great for a little while, and then you burn out, and then you don't do anything, and it sucks. So same thing. Remember, like, yes, you can work for 18 hours straight. And you could probably do that for quite a long time, longer than other people would say you could. But at the end of that, you're going to crash, and you're going to not do it anymore. So don't set yourself up for failure by pushing too hard. Balance stuff out. And also remember that different things balance differently. So like, if you're doing work, balance it with some social stuff. But if your social stuff is expensive, like going out to restaurants and bars, remember to balance that with some things that are not financially expensive, right? Like sitting at home and watching Netflix that you've already paid for. That takes up a lot of time though, so remember to balance that with, it's just like, you know, that constant shuffling, balancing act. Give yourself variety and space. This is a good tip for if you're like me, try double planning. Have 2 possible times for something and 2 possible things for a time. So for instance, when I know I have stuff I don't want to do, like the export stuff for printing, I will say like, okay, well, I have to get this, I want to get this done this week, so I can do it either on Monday or on Friday. And on Monday, I can do either this or I can do like some social media engagement. So on Monday, you can think to yourself, like, okay, do it A or B, whichever one I want. Like, you know, you give yourself license to choose at the time how you're feeling. And then on Friday, you go, okay, well, I didn't do that, so I should do this, but I have another option. And then basically, if you do the other one, you give yourself choices. It helps if you're someone like me. That way you kind of account for the fact that at a certain time you might be like, I don't want to do this right now, this is stupid, I'm gonna do something else. And then you trick yourself because you're like, well, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna do something else productive. I need to update my website, so I'm gonna spend 3 hours doing that instead of producing this product. And then you're like, I was productive, don't worry. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't actually do the right goal. Whereas if you accounted for that in your schedule, you're like, well, I might do A or B, then you're fine. Then you're safe. Because you're like, oh, but there's another time later in my schedule that I can do the next thing. Whereas if you're like, I'm going to do it on Monday, and then you don't get it done on Monday, now everything else in your week is offset because you have to do that and shove something else to the side. Include time to plan. So like for me, I specifically put in here time for my goal review, like weekly goal review, and time for weekly planning, weekly to-do and schedule. So I added in time to plan and review. Those are important because otherwise, where are you going to fit them in? You're not going to do them every week. You're going to forget about them. That's a whole goal down the drain because you just didn't track it. If you don't plan time for rest, your body and brain will plan it for you. This is the old maintenance quote. If you don't plan time for maintenance, your equipment will plan it for you. Your body and your brain is the same. Include time to plan and to work on your business. Include long stretches of unbroken time to do creative work. So this is part about leaving blank space. For me, this is kind of my Wednesday, but it's also kind of like things like my Monday morning or my Sunday day, or you know what I mean, like weekly planning doesn't take up a whole evening, so kind of things like that, like my Tuesday evening, like leave some free time so that you have time for your brain to just, especially if you are like a really creative person, you need time for blank space for your brain to just work and kind of do the stuff you're not telling it to do. Otherwise you get into creative block, so like writer's block, etc., artist block, and that's what you don't want to be. Give yourself blank space. Moderna conducted the first human trial of an HIV mRNA vaccine. Ooh, exciting. I thought we had an HIV vaccine already. What am I thinking of? Is this a new one or is it something different? Or okay, so this is part of the review. Review your execution of your goals from last week with your weekly scorecard. If you are executing less than 60%, you need to reevaluate your tactics because you have signed yourself up for too much work. If you cannot consistently do more than 60% of the goal you set in a week, like the goal is non-functional, stop, you know, like something needs to change. Either the goal is not meaningful to you or it's just not executable with your system. So like for me, if I had put, like I said before, like engagement 7 times for each platform, there's no way I would be fulfilling that. I would be getting like maybe 30% on that, like something. And that's the point when you look at it and you go, oh, this isn't functional, this isn't viable, I should reevaluate. And so reevaluating to once per week, regardless of platform. Alright, the last couple things I have on here are like goal check, goal alignment, and I had another one, goal recalibration. Oh, and morning ritual. Fuck, that's the daily thing. Why is all this in the middle? Oh, because I was going to go over it. Okay, but I kind of already did. I kind of went over the life plan to-do list and the focus to-do list. So goal check should actually be back here, but it was printed weirdly on the end of that one, so we'll come back to it. Morning ritual. This is the daily thing. So you can print one of these out every day. I don't. I just kind of do it in my head. But it's things like these little check boxes here. So you read your eulogy. This is your life plan. Read your life plan. Like all 4 pages. You don't have to read, you don't have to read all 4 of them. But the idea is to reacquaint yourself with the things you wrote down. Like, what is it you see your life doing in 50 years? Like, look at it. Be like, are those good goals? And I said before, kind of, yeah, I mean, a study read. For some people, this is really motivating, and for some people, it isn't. If you're the kind of person where looking at your grand goals is motivating and like psychs you up, do this. Like, make time to look at it at least every week, if not every day. Whereas if you're the kind of person where that's like fucking way too much pressure and like it's distracting, or it like, like you end up thinking about other stuff instead of just doing the work, don't look at it every day. But you can kind of test if you can't intuit what type of person you are. But like for me, it's the kind of stuff that is motivating. But if I sit there reading all 4 pages, I would get distracted. So it's like, just read briefly and like think about it, or just don't even read, just remember in your brain about it. But the idea is to reacquaint yourself with those kind of the really big long-term goals. Review your kind of your to-do list and your goals. Make sure you kind of know what your daily habits are, what your daily goals are, what your schedule is if you have actual scheduled things, like if you have meetings for your job or you have like social obligations, etc., right? Make sure you're actually meeting the physical schedules that you have to be there for. One thing is good to set your daily priorities, and you can do this again if you have a planner like the one I created, which you can buy on Natasha Tuskovich Designs. You can set your daily priority up top. You can set your 3 kind of tasks, most important tasks for the days at the bottom. Yeah, just write things down. It's useful. So there's 2 questions on the morning ritual, 2 that are nice. Music got louder. This is kind of an interesting question, and this is again from Donna Miller. If you could live this day again, what would you do differently? And it's a really interesting question to ask yourself before you do the day. This is a morning question, it's not an evening question. So ask yourself before you've lived the day. It's just one of those weird psychological things where it kind of gets in your brain and you're like, oh, you can kind of be like, these are my goals, but subconsciously you kind of know where you're gonna fuck it up before you do it. And asking yourself this question kind of like, it puts your subconscious on the spot, and it's like, if I could do this again, what would I do differently? And it's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't fuck around doing X, Y, and Z. Even though I know I'm not supposed to, I also know I think I'm gonna. And it kind of like puts it in this weird perspective. So that is honestly a question I think is really, really like poignant and cutting. Like for some reason it really hits. And then what are you grateful for today? Just that kind of, I think there's been a couple studies that showed like gratitude practices and stuff are actually really psychologically beneficial and socially and, mental health and meditation and all that kind of stuff. So gratitude practices are nice. What are you grateful for today? Just fill something in, think about something. All the little stuff, all the big stuff, your friends, family, and loved ones, your job, your whatever your situation, down to the little stuff like, oh, I have a nice tasting drink. I have a, someone said something nice on Instagram yesterday. Like the big stuff, the little stuff, the medium stuff. Had a nice walk with the dog. The sun is shining. Like, just think of all the fun stuff all the good stuff that makes you makes you smile or makes you grateful or makes you appreciative or satisfied. Oh, Russia is moving blood and medical supplies behind their soldiers stationed around Ukraine's border. Ooh, crazy. Okay, so that's the morning ritual. Next up, the last thing I think in this planner is goal check alignment and goal setting recalibration. That's it. Everything else is just extra prints, copies of things. Yeah, because I've put it the dashboard and stuff in this book, but I don't think it's actually part of the thing, and I put one sheet in the book, but I don't think it's part of the thing. Okay, so goal check alignment. So this is kind of, especially if you find you're having trouble with a habit, like you're not doing it, or a goal, this is kind of to evaluate why you're doing it. So 1, identify the goal that's causing you trouble. That you're, maybe if this is one of those goals where you're executing less than 60%, this would be a good time to do this. So the question, when I achieve this goal, I will be able to. Why are you doing this? What's the point? When I achieve this, I will feel. Why do you want to do this? What's the benefit to you? Identify the underlying objectives based on these answers. So look at the kind of, what are there common threads? Is there a reason? What are you doing and why? Kind of explore your own reasons for stuff. And try to hit a bit deeper than like, well, I want money so I can buy X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, why? What's the point of that? What's the benefit to you? What's the emotional payoff? Now, compare with what you were originally asking. Like, focus on your main goal. So if your main goal was like post to social media and your objective is like, why am I doing that? So that my business can be successful. Why do I want my business to be successful? So I will feel like I'm creating something of value for people. And it's like, well, why is that important? Because I want to be, building something that can grow. Well, why is that important? Like, just keep going why down the list until you hit kind of either like rock bottom or like to a really generic value, basically. Now compare this with the original goal, post to social media, for example. So is that goal the best / only way to achieve this? So if your goal is like successful business and posting to social media every day isn't happening, this is an example, what other ways could you do this? Could you hire someone? Could you do a different type of social media? Could you do paid ads? Could you do et cetera, et cetera? Like, what are other options? Could you do a different schedule? Like, does it have to be every day? Could you do every other day? Focus on different schedules. What are the other ways to achieve the goal? And is the original goal even sufficient to achieve this? Sometimes we set a goal and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that's going to help me get to my major goal. But it's like, it's not really. Like, if you, like, for instance, if you're like, I'm going to have a business because I'm going to post to social media. And it's like, but that's all you do. You don't put out any products. Well, maybe the reason you're not bothering to post to social media is because subconsciously you're like, well, this isn't really getting me anywhere. So figure out like if your goal is actually online or on track for your goal, for your overall goal. Last question, can I achieve my objective in a more effective way? So if you're posting and it's not reaching anyone, if you're commenting or making sales but no one ever takes you up on that, buys a thing, why are you doing that? What are other options? Explore other options. Last up was, I think, goal recalibration. So this is similar. This is kind of a, at the end of the quarter, this page should be before that page. Oh, I see why it's not. All right, goal recalibration. At the end of the quarter, spend time evaluating how your goals went. What was your execution on your weekly scorecard? Go through your weekly scorecard and like tally everything up if you haven't already. Make sure you are evaluating the why if a goal didn't work. If you didn't follow this plan, it doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad plan, but it definitely means you need a different plan that you can actually execute. There's no point changing the plan if you didn't, there's no point changing the plan because it didn't work if what really happened is you didn't execute the plan. Make sure you can execute your weekly tactics reliably at 85% before judging whether they're successful or not. All you can judge, if you're doing less than 85%, all you can judge is how good you are at executing the plan. You can't judge whether the plan is successful or not. And even if it is successful, if you're like only doing 60% and it's already successful, hey, think about what could be happening if you were doing 90 or 100%. Right? It could be way more successful. So that's kind of the point on that. Questions to ask yourself for goal recalibration. What mistakes did you make today, this month, this year, this quarter? What did you learn? What worked well? What didn't? What did you think about while you were doing things or not doing things? What goals did you fail at? What didn't work? If these are goals going forward, like if these are kind of a long-term thing or something that still applies going forward, what are you going to do differently so you don't get the same results next time? So that's kind of all of the goal recalibration. I think that's everything in this planner today. How exciting. Again, mission statement. That's from a different planner. I just put it as the cover of this because I didn't have a cover. Because the one that should have been the cover printed in blue. And then for me, I would put like the life review, business review at the end of 2021, and I would put the goal setting part at the beginning of my 2022 planner. That's just what I would do. So yeah, if you missed any of the stuff from the previous stream, which was like the life review, annual review, business review, and life goals, you can check that out on one of the previous streams, either on Twitch, or if it's gone from Twitch, it'll be on YouTube forever. And that's Natasha Tuskovich Co-working, or it's Natasha Tuskovich Designs, but I'm pretty sure these are on Co-working. And if you would like to download your own copy of the planner, it is for free right now until the end of the month, so until January 31st. Put the link in the chat again. And then it is going up. Price is going up for an actual price after that. And you can buy it if you would like to fill out all these lovely pages for yourself. These ones all have the kind of the floral plan on them. I am planning on reformatting it to a less floral version in addition, but the content is quality, even if the roses are not your style. And again, this is kind of private stuff too, so if you hate the roses, you can still get content from the value from the content. If you like the roses, as I do, then you have a beautiful little gold planner that also looks pretty. But I found it very useful. I've been using kind of variations on this for the last couple of years, and as you can tell, I put it together from a lot of different sources, which I'm going to try to make a reference page for. And yeah, I hope that was helpful for people. I hope people got something out of it. I hope it was beneficial, and I hope it helps people the way it's been helping me, because I did get a lot of goals completed last year and the year before that, and doing all this kind of stuff is can be really useful. So hopefully you guys not the same week. I am going to go to bed now. Well, not go to bed now. I'm going to finish the stream now. The two planners. That was the 2021 planner, which is currently my 2022 planner as well, because I haven't printed new covers yet for 2022, because then I have to laminate them. I have to find my laminating plastic. But goal planner. Is there not like a goal planners page? I should make a goal planner title page, I guess. Life goals or something. Or a life plan. I have a life goals page. There we go. You need like life goals and life plan. Life plan, there it is. Look at that, we'll do that. There we go. Life goals and life plan. Kind of covers all the bases. There we go. Alright, let's find someone to rate, I guess. Oh, it looks like the stream started being bad quality. I have 21 notifications. Oh, including 194%. Calm down, stream. Almost done. Oh god. Relax. Not many people streaming right now. My goodness, it's actually like insanely. At least all the people I follow, there's not many people out there. Wow. I love this. I really like the way this turned out with the yellow. That's really nice. I'm gonna have to make a yellow version. Like a peach version, a blue version. I like all the different color ones. Like what, Friday night isn't a hotspot for like productivity streams? It is for me. Alright, honestly, I think Study Coach is the winner here. Let's go check out Study Coach. Alright, thanks to everyone who hung out tonight. I hope you got something from that. I hope that was useful. I'm really glad I finally got to do that, because again, like, it's like the end of January. I should have done that at the end of December or the beginning of January, but here we are. Got a lot done this month anyways. Yes. So let me know what your goals are, if you use the planner, if you like the planner, if you notice any problems or have any feedback. I would love to hear it. If you know anyone who would be interested in it, please send them a link. If you know anyone who's interested in the planners in general or in art or anything, please share. I would appreciate it very much. Alright, we're off to, oh, I know what I should do. I'll post the raid message. We're off to raid. No, this raid message is kind of a work in progress. It doesn't necessarily work. All the emojis don't necessarily work, but you know. Let's go. Bye everyone. Have a good night. I'll be back more this weekend for some other streams. And co-working next week. Art club, Sun club, book club. No, not quite yet. Book club is next week. Or like a week from now, I think.